The summit is what drives us, but the climb is what really matters. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Athletes Podcast sponsored by Sports for Champions. Today I am joined by Guinness World Record holder Alasdair McKenzie. How are you today, Alasdair?
Fine, you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. Just a little bit about yourself. Obviously, you are one of the world's youngest mountaineers, one of the most accomplished mountaineers at your age group in the world. You started from a very young age, obviously you're only 18 now. Can you tell us a little bit about how you first got into mountaineering?
I've been always to mountain since my young age, so I feel like normal for me.
Yeah, I think you were skiing at 2 years old.
Yeah, so I started skiing at 2 years old after I done competition in fees and all that, and decided to stop competition to do really what is drive me is mountaineering.
So you prefer almost the top of the mountain to going down it?
I still like to go down it, but I like to reach the summit.
Okay, so it's more about the accomplishment.
Yeah.
Were you naturally talented at skiing? Were you a good skier straight away?
I was a good skier. I was not the best, I was not the worst, but now I'm in mountaineering.
It makes sense. And have you always lived up in the mountains?
Yes and no. I was always between French and Scotland, moving around everywhere.
So there is some mountains in Scotland. I'm not sure it's quite on the same scale.
Yeah, it's not the same scale, but it's always to be good to be in those mountains too.
Yeah. And what age did you transition from skiing to focusing only on mountaineering?
So I decided really to do mountaineering for all the year when I was 16,
Right.
like before my 17 birthday, and after I just went for it.
Yeah. And then what age did you sort of accomplish one of the sort of big mountains? What would be a sort of first real challenge?
So the first real challenge was to ski Mont Blanc before the age of 17, which I've done. And after the second one is to go to Nepal the first time when I've been, and after doing the two 8,000 meter before my 18.
Wow. And obviously the Alps in France, Italy, Switzerland, obviously huge mountains. I'm not sure if any of our viewers have been there. I've been there myself, and the scale, having grown up near the Lake District in England, to see the Alpine mountains was different. It's a whole nother level. How was it to first visit Nepal?
It's another schedule. Like, it's bigger. When you just look up, you just look at those giant mountains. It's like really big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it scary when you were young, or were you just excited at the prospect?
I was just excited to try those mountains. Not scary.
What?
No, to answer that.
What do you think it is about tackling these bigger and bigger mountains? What is it about you that really pushes you to keep trying bigger and bigger things?
Is to reach my limit inside me, to see what I'm capable of, and to see what not a lot of people is to see the view on the top.
So when after you've tackled some of the biggest mountains in the world, obviously the biggest mountain in the world is Everest.
Yeah.
And after Everest, there's not really anywhere to go other than to try and do them closer together. So I know that you tackled, I think, is it the fourth biggest mountain in the world? Is it LHOTSE?
So I've tackled LHOTSE and Makalu in the two. I done LHOTSE first. It was on the 15th, and I submitted Makalu on the 24th. And now it's trying to do the 14th highest peak in the world.
Wow.
Above 8,000 meters.
So if I take you back to that, so 9 days between climbs is
Yeah.
not a long time for recovery.
No, it's not a long time of recovery.
What would be an ideal recovery time? What would be perfect?
It's not perfect because in my sport doing the mountaineering, like just do one mountain after another, you cannot get recovery fully because you need the preparation before and all that, and you need to manage what when you are in base camp with the media, with the management of the bag going and everything, the Sherpa, my team and all that is not really, you cannot get rest properly all the time.
How long would you like to rest after a mountain?
Not a lot. I like to just go directly to another one.
Keep going.
Yeah, pushing is the best.
How so if you're doing a mountain like that 9 days, do you find that your muscles are tired? Do you find mentally you are tired, or? You're
obviously tired because you don't sleep a lot, you don't drink a lot, you don't eat a lot, you don't get no proper rest. But it's part of the game of doing mountaineering, at trying to just do them all.
Yeah, so it's not just about the climb, it's as much about managing your own your body, your mind.
Yeah, and seeing the limits of your body.
Is there anything that you do to try and strengthen your mind to do these things?
No, I do some meditation and all that, but when you're up there, it's like a different game than when you are down.
Yeah, so would you say there's not really any way you can prepare yourself on the ground for how it feels up there?
Yes and no. You can train like physically, mentally with things like pushing for 24 hours with a backpack and all that. That is like that. You can prepare yourself, but what's going on the top, you cannot really prepare it because you don't know what is going to happen.
Yeah, I can imagine there's a lot of different variables.
Yeah.
Like the weather, I
well,
imagine
the weather, the problem you can have of going up, the oxygen, your oxygen can go really down directly. Your avalanche race and all that is, you can prepare, you can try the best, but you still have this percentage of like you don't know what is going to happen. You can always have a problem, but you need to be well prepared and to see like to try to
mitigate.
Yeah, like taking the most out. Like that is not a lot of it.
Yeah, so you do everything. Oh yeah, so you do everything you can to try and
you
can't 100%.
Yeah,
makes sense. How often would you sleep while you're on the mountain?
I sleep well on the mountain.
You sleep well?
Yeah, I sleep well.
How long? Many hours?
You can take 6 hours.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, 6 hours. After in the like camp 1 you can sleep 6, camp 2 you can sleep 6 to 8, camp 3 you can sleep 6. In camp 4 you don't sleep.
Really?
Because you arrive at maybe 4 o'clock and at midnight, like at 10 a.m. No, not 10 a.m. 10 p.m. you need to go back up in the mountain to summit.
I see. So you don't actually you don't have the time to sleep.
Like an example, in Makalu, I didn't sleep for 36 hours.
Right. Okay.
I sleep in camp 2. In camp 3 I didn't manage to sleep, so I just push through to summit and come back down, and like it's nearly a 36-hour day.
Wow. So there's 4 stop-offs on the way to the top.
Yeah, usually. Wow. You always have 4. When you acclimatize, you skip one of those. Like on LHOTSE, I skip camp 1, so I go directly from base camp to camp 2.
Yeah.
And after you take camp 2, camp 3, camp 4, summit. Does
the numbers of fellow climbers reduce every camp?
Yes and no. You always have some climber who go slower, but they manage. And you have some who can go fast, but feel not well after.
Yeah,
they need to come down directly.
Where are you? Are you slow?
I am fast, but I am slow in the same time. It's like I take my time.
Okay.
I'm not trying to go like really fast. If I'm good, like physically, I will go. I will try to go fast, but my thing is to try to do the summit, not to just go in camp 3 and being, I'm too tired, I'm going down.
Yeah, it's not a race, I suppose.
Yeah, it's not a race, it's a marathon.
Yeah. And then, so obviously you completed the first 2 peaks, LHOTSE and Makalu.
Yeah.
I know that's part of a bigger project. Can you tell us a little bit about that project?
So the project is to be the youngest in the world to summit the 14th highest peak in the world, above 8,000 meters. So I will be the youngest to accomplish that, and to add it more to my challenge, I want to finish them before November 2023, hopefully.
So between now and November 23,
Yeah.
or I think you've got a couple of months off now, haven't you? So it's
So yeah, until March, I'm like here
training.
like, training for the project, and after I go directly in March in Nepal
Right.
doing 8,000 meter.
Mhm.
After I go to Pakistan doing 8,000 meter, and after I'm going back in Nepal and Tibet doing the force.
And what's the where do you finish? What is the final?
We still don't know
Okay.
because it's depend between two mountains,
Mhm.
and hopefully it will be in Tibet,
Okay.
Shoyu or Shishapangma.
Why do you
Will be good.
prefer Tibet?
I don't prefer Tibet because I cannot say I like it or not. I never been
Mhm.
to. Hopefully I will like it.
Yeah.
But is the season is a good weather season in Tibet.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow. And is there anything in particular? I think the one that probably will jump out at people, Everest, of course. Is there any mountain in particular that you're looking forward to, or maybe even worried about?
I don't worry about mountain because you have risk on every mountain.
Mhm.
So it's like that is mountaineering. What mountain I would like to do is K2.
K2. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. And then, obviously, being so young yourself, would you have any advice to somebody who is also young, who maybe wants to start mountaineering, or maybe some advice to just getting started?
Never stop.
Never stop.
Yeah, just keeping pushing. It's always like that in every sport.
Yeah, of course. Is there any practical tips? How would you first, if you were to start again from the beginning, is there anything you would do different to what you did?
Not really, because my parkour is like really different to other mountaineering. After is one advice I can say is like follow your own path. Like it's going. Every life is different. You cannot just follow one body because he's done it. You need to do it to yourself. Is like the only way you can do it.
Is there I imagine there's a different type of training for different aspects of mountaineering. So for your lungs, you'll have to do cardio while you're on the ground. Also, I imagine there is skill in terms of knowing where to put ice picks and knowing what kind of thing is safe to walk on.
Yeah.
How do you go about learning those skills?
Being in the mountain
Mhm.
and being with the right people. That is the most important thing. Being with the right people who know what they do, who can teach you well to be like better in the mountain.
What would you say was the hardest thing to learn?
Hardest thing to learn. Nothing is hard when it's like your passion, like it's what you want to do for a living.
Can you tell us a little bit about the importance of teamwork? People might think of mountaineering as a solo sport, but I think on your own is very difficult.
No, it's not a solo sport. Even more in 8,000 meter, you can say in the Alps, in other mountain, but in the Himalaya is totally different. You have a team of Sherpa, who is like you need the best of the best and all that. Who without them you will not manage 8,000 meter.
Can you tell us a bit about the Sherpas?
So me, I'm working with Sherpa, Ramesh, and Tenzing, and all that, all of them, because I know without them the summit will be not the same, because you need them to help you a lot. You need the partner, who already done 8,000 meter and all that. Don't know if it's good or not.
Yeah. So a lot of people probably didn't know that. A lot of people probably think that you are alone.
No, I'm never alone. Never alone on this mountain.
Can you tell us a little bit about any other things that people might think that aren't true?
So me, like the Sherpa I use, lots of people when they know a little bit from Himalaya, who knows for the Sherpa, they just think we are like going up and the Sherpa is carrying us, like helping us a lot. And it's, for me, that is not true. Maybe for others, they try their best and give everything to the Sherpa. For me, it's not the same work, because the Sherpa is there to be with you, to if a problem happened, to be with him, but is always the same. If he have a problem, it's me who is going to try to help him. Like for me, I don't try. On Manaslu on this, I help my Sherpa to carry my stuff because he was carrying tents and all that. I trying my best to he carries, but I carry my stuff like that. He doesn't need to carry extra weight. Yeah, and that is what loads of people think about Nepal.
Yeah, it's teamwork, I guess.
Yeah, it's teamwork. Yeah, you have a connection between Sherpa and you. You need to have a good feeling. You know that.
Makes sense. Has the mountain made you a better person?
Yeah, a lot more.
How so?
Like, just being, because in Nepal you just have nothing and they're just always smiling. And our problem in now is like people are taking because they don't have that, they are not happy. But for me it's like different way, because how Nepali think is like we don't have it but we still smile, saying okay, it's not possible, but we still smile. In loads of country now it's like we don't have it, we are in bad mood and all that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Would you say it's taught you resilience?
And humility.
Humble. Yeah.
That taught me a lot in Nepal.
Cool, makes sense. How do you approach managing the risk on the mountain? I imagine there's times when you have to make high pressure decisions very quickly. How do you approach that?
Just being always in mountain. Like, I approach it because in mountain you have risk. You have risk in any sport. You can be injured and all that. In mountain is the same thing, but just a little a different level. Can risk a lot for not a lot of time on it. So how I manage it is like just doing mountain. I don't know how to explain that.
Just by always putting yourself in that uncomfortable position.
Not to put I don't like to be in this position.
Yeah.
But when you are a mountaineering once in a life, you always arrive to this position, and there you see what are you capable of. Makes
sense.
Yeah.
If, for example, you can't climb a mountain, the weather's too bad to summit, how do you deal with that setback? How does it feel when you're sat in your room and you can't do what you love?
So as we don't have room, we have tents.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, just being in the bad weather. You just say it's like that. You don't want to risk yourself or your binôme. Binôme in English, I don't know if it's that. Like your partner.
Okay, yeah.
You don't want to risk the life of your partner, so you just like, okay, it's like that.
Yeah.
We try, we wait, but it's like that.
I know you're somebody who doesn't have a great deal of hobbies outside of mountaineering. You're very mountaineering focused, which is admirable. How do you deal with it in the downtime between mountains? Do you find that you struggle to fill your time with other things?
No, I don't struggle, because between training and I always train, I always send emails, so I don't have loads of time off.
Yeah, so you don't have focus on many other things.
No,
it's just all mountaineering.
Yeah, it's all mountaineering and all the project.
It is a big sacrifice, I feel, that you make. Obviously, you probably don't feel like it if you love it so much. Yeah. Is there anything perhaps about a normal 18-year-old boy's life that you do miss?
Not really.
No?
No, I decided this life because I like it. Yeah. I like it. So for me, it's not like a bad thing. Yeah. I know for people it will be a bad thing, but not for me. So it's a life I want.
So you never struggle with discipline around training and things?
No, training for me is a big part.
How is your nutrition?
Pretty good.
Healthy?
Yeah.
All the time?
Not all the time. Always after expedition you want a pizza, you want things like that. Yeah. It's normal, because you just spend nearly 1 month and a half, nearly 2 months in expedition, just eating the food of the Sherpa community, so it's dalbat. so you just want a little bit breakdown. So like, you just give me 1 week to eat what I want, and after I'm back in training and all that.
I see. How is your you said a little bit about the Sherpas' food, their nutrition. How is your diet on the mountain, and maybe a little bit about hydration
so
also?
Diet in mountain is simple. You can eat whatever you want, you will lose weight.
Makes sense.
So you try to eat sugar, you try to eat loads of things to keep the weight, because the more fat you have, the less cold you will be. It's like if you're going in the cold water. Some people who have not a lot of mass gross mass. He will be cold, and somebody who have a little bit more will be hotter than him. In mountain is the same thing, but in mountain you just lose the weight whatever you eat.
Is it hard to drink enough water to stay hydrated?
Yes and no. For some people it's really hard to drink or eat. I don't have this problem. I can eat good, I can drink. I don't in mountain I don't drink a lot because it's heavy water.
Of course.
It's heavy in the bag, so I try to drink, but I'm not
not a big problem.
No, it's not a big problem for me.
Do you think the sport of mountaineering is changing, and where do you see it going in the next 5 years?
It's changing because lots of it's getting more and more mediatic. Like loads of people is going on interview and all that now. You can get a lot more sponsorship through that because you know you have a starting community who is getting really big each day. So hopefully it will be getting bigger and bigger until we have a lot of people looking for that.
Perfect. And obviously you have 12 peaks left to do this year, before November. Is there any one thing, I know you said you're looking forward to K2, but after you finish the 12 peaks, is there something else that you really want to do, or just focus for now?
For now I'm just focused. After, we never know, I can go back on this mountain doing without oxygen, skiing, paragliding. You never know. It can change really fast.
Wow. Yeah, so I'm sure whatever happens, it sounds very exciting. So we wish you the best of luck with the final 12 peaks. Thank you very much for joining us here today.
Thank you to invite me.
You're more than welcome. And thank you to everyone watching at home. It's been another fascinating episode of the Athlete Podcast, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.